Yeah. Bill and I, we're running this show. Digital land, let the blockchain flow. Pod to the cast, we ride the air. NFT dreams like we just don't care. Metaverse wild, like a zombie horde. Earth2 terrain, we're never bored. VeVe collectibles stacking high. Bill and I, we touch the sky. Digital world, we rule this space. NFT riches, we're on the chase. Metaverse dreams, a brand new guide. Zombie and Bill side by side. Yeah. Bill lays down wisdom like it's gold. I'm the zombie breaking every mold. Virtual lands where our roots grow deep. Podcasts alive, we never sleep. Podcast kings in the cyber realm. Forward thinking, we at the helm. Digital land, new frontiers we take. Binary zone that we co-create. Digital world, we rule this space. NFT riches, we're on the chase. Metaverse dreams, a brand new guide. Zombie and Bill side by side. Digital world, we rule this space. NFT riches, we're on the chase. Metaverse dreams, a brand new guide. Zombie and Bill side by side. Bill lays down wisdom like it's gold. I'm the zombie breaking every mold. Virtual lands where our roots grow deep. Podcasts alive, we never sleep. Podcast kings in the cyber realm. Forward thinking, we at the helm. Digital land, new frontiers we take. Binary zone that we co-create. Followers join and they heed the call. Hack the code, break the fourth wall. Pixelated power in every hand. Bill and Zombie own this land. On this land. On this land. Yeah, on this land. On this land. On this land.
Whoa. Hello, gents. How's it going, guys?
We figured it out.
It's good.
Yeah, last minute. We had a little scheduling flop there.
Yeah, my bad. I slid in here with the last question, so.
Yeah, right on time. Looks like Randy saw.
Are you guys got that music on? Okay, there we go. Just making sure.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I just want to hold on one second. So, what's going on?
oh, not too much. Just got off work, did some stuff today, and came home. Thought I was looking forward to coming in today.
Yes.
Nice.
I know, I'm disappointed. I was just telling Zombie that I was just in Orlando, and I didn't even think about hitting you up while I was there.
I know we could have easily got together. I could have met you at SeaWorld, like I said.
I know.
It's been a minute since I've been to SeaWorld, but yeah, I would have gone. I would have gone again.
We were hanging out at this awesome resort next door, like literally right next door, and the tickets were so cheap. Or not tickets. The stay was like $120 a night at a resort.
Yeah,
I mean, you can't even hardly get a hotel for that anymore.
yeah, and that was in March, last month, right?
Yeah, like a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
And-
because that's spring break. Usually, that's a lot more expensive for a hotel.
Yeah, and it was a Hilton resort right next door, and it was beautiful. It would have been plenty of time to hang out, but we'll hopefully see you in New York. Are you going to New York at all?
Yeah, I plan on going to New York. I might go to San Diego. I'm not quite sure yet, but definitely New York.
Okay, cool. Then we'll hang out there.
Yeah, definitely, most definitely. I've been last couple years.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, I was supposed to go last year, but then I got a little shaky and was a little lonely and didn't want to go by myself.
Well, I tell you, 2 years ago, things didn't work out with my wife and I, so my daughter decided to go with me, but she could only go one day because she had an interview. So I was there on Saturday night, and I didn't get home till 8:00 in the morning.
Oh, man.
When I say home, I'm talking the hotel room.
Yeah.
So
Trying to sleep in for the day. Right.
it was a bunch of us, Randy and VeVe Magic. Let's see who else was there. I could go down the line, but when we got out of Sanjay's party, then we just started bar hopping, and every bar we went to, we lost a few more people. And I actually had this shirt signed by David Yu with the Epco Regal. And it was like the very first one, with that NFT that he got dropped just a few months ago. So so I had that shirt signed, and I was in back of this bar. This was literally 6:30 in the morning. And I walked back out, and everybody was gone. And I had no idea where my shirt was. I had missed my jacket. And it turned out that VeVe Magic,
what's up, Doc?
she had she tore like her ACL in her knee. And so everybody was
crazy, right? Like,
yeah.
What a night.
So somebody grabbed my jacket for me. Somebody grabbed that signed shirt, and I can't remember who it was, but they hit me up on Telegram and got it all back to me. It was really, really
That's amazing.
Cool.
We actually left a bunch of stuff at the resort, and while we were at Clearwater, we realized it, and I'm like, I don't want to drive back to Orlando. And they ended up shipping my kids' stuff in a box. Like, it got there like 2 days later after we got back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty insane. So that's cool.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, you don't get hotels to do that very often.
Right. Yeah. So Zombie was asking me what you like to get into in collecting. And I was like, well, I know he likes M'Baku. But, I've got the entire set of Mighties. Yeah, that's right. You do.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Even
did you land that Spider Noir or no?
No, I paid $1,100 for him.
Oh
man, what a deal!
Yeah, it's a good piece, though. It's a good piece.
It is.
Yeah, I was so upset about that.
Usually, when the Mighties come out, I'll do like 15 drops, just hoping to get that secret rare.
Right.
Never have gotten it, so I've always had to pay for the Black Panther secret rare and the Ghost Rider and Noir.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's that Mighty set has been a little pricey, but I got 200 M'Bakus. Now, why I got 200 M'Bakus, I really couldn't tell you. It's just one day I just decided, hey, there was a bunch of them that were like $2-3.
Yes.
And I got in VeVe around November 2020. I got in VeVe during Golden Moments Week.
Okay. Yep.
But I actually bought Omi before I actually got into VeVe.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So when I got my Omi, I did a lot of research coming into it, and I found out that Omi was a deflationary coin, and was part of this VeVe ecosystem with NFTs. And I was like, I don't know about all these NFTs, and I hadn't really thought it through, about the benefits might be and so on. And then I had somebody text me that Golden Moments. Actually, it was my daughter. My daughter that went to the New York Comic Con with me, but she texted me that Disney was dropping NFTs, these Golden Moments on VeVe. And I'm like, oh, if Disney's getting into it, I'm all in, because I'm a Disney fan, but I'm like crazy Disney fan or anything like that.
Yeah, same here. Yeah,
doesn't get into anything unless there's really something to it.
Right.
So I've got 2 Golden Moment sets as well. I just got a second set about 3 or 4 weeks ago. So when everybody else, I'm kind of the type of person that when everybody else is looking at something else, and they kind of forget about maybe some of the grails and stuff, that's when I go in and try to buy something cheap.
Nice. Smart move. So do you have the Groot secret rare as well?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's super limited as well. Gosh, I wonder how many full set collectors there are.
I don't know. Last time I heard, and this was before Noir dropped, it was like 50.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
So that's got to cut it down a lot for that Noir. Yeah.
I was kind of. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead, Bill.
I was kind of upset about the Noir. I was hoping that there were going to be a ton of mints, because that was one I wanted to pick up like a couple hundred of them.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of glad they did it. But when it was so rare, I knew, I'm like, I'm not even going to be able to get one of these. At the time, I'm like, there's, and I missed it because I waited too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it dropped, and I thought about it, And I just kind of watched, and I thought, okay, let's see if it goes up. And then it dropped back down to where I bought it at. And as soon as I bought it, literally like an hour later, it was at $4,000.
Yeah.
Well, who's that collector that started stacking those and then sold off? What do you know?
Mentalocks? No.
No. Was it not Clever Jerk?
I know who you're talking about.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a bunch. He's been buying all the
Stormtroopers.
the waltz.
Oh, all the Stormtroopers. Yeah, I remember somebody was really going in.
Yeah, and then he sold off. I think it was that guy that did the Black Panther as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, if you're gonna go in on something like that, if you're gonna stack, you got to know that price. Well, at least in this bear market, it's gonna continue to go down. And then if you end up selling those, I mean, you're gonna take a big loss.
Yeah.
Right. Well, yeah, there was a little controversy on that and why he was selling them off so quickly after he just stacked. I think he got to 1,000, if I'm not mistaken.
Wow.
And then
Stormtroopers?
Wow. Yeah.
Huh.
I don't know. I mean, I think some collectors get in trouble. They overspend. You know. So
Yeah.
that's definitely. I think that definitely comes into play. I've seen a few people, sell some stuff off, and I'm like, oh, okay. I wonder what's going on there. But things happen. Life gets in the way.
Yeah.
It's in the way sometimes.
Off his meds, Mick. It's something Mick. Yeah, low mint Mick. That's what
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That was it. Yeah, absolutely.
What's up, NFT gents? I don't know if I've heard of him before.
So do you go after the every drop, or are you just in particular to things you like?
I went through what I would call a season of going after every drop, especially when that bull market was kicking in. I mean, like when I came in on Golden Moments Week, if you got a drop, you were in the money.
Right.
I mean, there just wasn't any. It didn't really make much of a difference. It was just like slinging mud up against the wall. Everything stuck.
Right.
But I'm pretty selective now in what I go for. I don't even remember the last drop that I went for. It was a few weeks ago, but I don't remember what it was. But yeah, I'm pretty selective now in what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Blackpink, anybody?
No.
I think I'm going to go after the animated ones because I want to see them dance in the VeVeverse. So to me, that's going to be cool.
Yeah.
Well, they have that. They kind of have that diorama that they got from that first set, the stage or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
On that.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you could put them on there, right?
Yeah, you could put them on that stage.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, maybe I'll do that because I don't think I got the stage.
I want to say that I did was one of the only things that I did buy. I forget. Well, I bought like one of the golden girls. I forget which one. It might have been Jenny but yeah, I'm just not into Blackpink, and I don't know.
No.
I'm a guy.
I mean, they're okay to look at, but yeah, I'm not really into them.
yeah. I don't know.
It made it difficult for collectors that want to invest in the future with that IP because they just release so much. And kind of even with this drop too, there's a lot of them I noticed, and I'm not sure if it's worth, spending the money on because there's so many good deals right now. It's competing with grails. It's competing with IP that is established. And it's showing right now from what I can see on the market that it's not holding up right now, which doesn't mean it's bad. It just means as an investment, if you're looking for an investment, there might be other opportunities,
Yeah. Like sweeping the floor on them.
Right.
Yeah. Now, one thing I've always thought about is I've always loved to be in the room with David when he has these discussions with the IP. Like, he's had discussions with Marvel because look at the Mighties as an example, and they've really brought down those edition numbers because I remember when like Steve Rogers came out, it was like 13,000 and all that. It was still sold out, and they did very, very well. Yeah. But obviously, we're now in this bear market, and we have been for a while. But Marvel's obviously listened and dropped this, and this is the reason why nobody can get a Noir. This is because it's 88.
Yep.
So I wonder do some IPs listen and some IPs don't, because isn't it like YG Entertainment that Blackpink is on?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
I wonder how that conversation went. I didn't take a look at the additions, but Zombie, if you say that they're already kind of taking a hit,
Yeah. I think you
that's
can get some. They listed for $4.99 or $14.99, and some are like $2-3 to $7 to $10. So
Yeah.
nothing crazy. And I was happy because I thought about the animation once I saw it, which is really cool. I liked it. So when I looked at there, I was like, okay, $7 and $10. That's manageable.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That
Zombie Tech News.
is it the Diamond VeVe logo that's coming out with that, the airdrop?
Yeah, that you have to have everything or something.
Yeah, now that might be worth something. That might be something.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, because it's so limited
Yeah.
for the amount of people that actually did it. Do we know what the sales number was? Was that today? I don't even know.
I just
No.
got home. I hadn't even looked.
No, that's not available yet because the other drop still hasn't happened.
Okay, so was it just one of the girls?
No, it's the Golden Heart VeVe logo, which I'm bummed about because I'm collecting a full set of I think 46s of those, and I don't have the black pink yet, and now that adds another one I gotta try to get. So, ugh.
Oh, you're trying to get all the 46s?
Yeah, I got all the colored VeVe 46s,
Okay.
but I don't have the black pink ones because they added that to the set afterwards. I was like, oh, great. So now I got to try to find those and hunt those
And
down.
now you got this other one.
And now I have a diamond one I have to try for too. Yeah,
That may
But
be the
that's
hardest one to get.
exactly.
Yeah.
And that's probably what was happening with Randy too. They kept adding all those the different things. And
Yeah.
he's like happened to grab 41, 41, 41.
All
Who
those
knows how
logos,
many
yeah.
they'll have?
He's got that logo on Stacker, I think, for 10,000. Number
The 41.
I think. I know you were talking about that, Bill. So let me see if I can find that on
I told
Stacker.
him don't take less than 50.
I saw that.
I mean, 10 is way too low.
Yeah, let's see if I can find
He's
this.
got a mission, he's got a goal and a mission that billion. I think he's really got his eye on the prize there.
That's what he's trying to do with it.
Yeah, well, he's trying to flip it, I'd imagine, into other crypto projects. Hopefully, he flips back into Omi and gets his Billy.
Yeah, I don't blame him for it. I mean,
he's got it for 32K, so that sounds like a better number.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's better than I was gonna say. 10 is almost like interesting.
Yeah,
like that's
a
little too cheap, right?
Yeah, but I know he's looking at Devi and Definity and the cat.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Do you?
Hey, Cuomo, do you collect comics at all? What do you do with those?
I started to collect some comics. Let me see if I can find it down here. I got a drawer. I had some that actually this was given to me by.
Whoa!
Now it's a.
Is it
It's not
facsimile?
original. It's not.
Yeah.
What do you call it? The facsimile?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
So
almost have me thrown back there. I'm like,
one.
he just flexes a 9.8.
Yeah, he just grabs it out of nowhere.
Yeah.
This one's
Actually,
however much.
these. You guys seen these?
Oh yeah,
those are cool.
These Disney ones where they redo the classic covers.
Yeah,
yeah.
I do like those.
That
That's
Hulk
right.
one, they have one of that as well.
Yeah. And so I started collecting all those, and then the comic store that I went to, like I couldn't get to it till like the afternoon, and so by that time I got there, they were all sold out, and I was like, man, I really don't want to have to hunt this thing down, and that's the thing about digital collectibles. I don't have to drive halfway across town looking for, comic.
Yep.
I've thought all about like Jeremy Padawar and all these people out to LA
Yeah.
that lost all that stuff in the fire.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I looked over at my wife and I said, I'd hate this house to burn down to the ground, but I just got a few things you really can't replace, but I won't lose any of my collectibles because hey, even if my phone burns up, I just
Yeah.
just get another one and download.
Well, even like the people of Sarasota getting hammered by that hurricane with the 15 feet of water.
Yeah.
It's destroying everything. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Imagine you have some really amazing comic collection and it's just fully submerged in water. You know,
Yeah,
that's
it's gone
devastating.
forever. Yeah, gone forever.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
there's no coming back from that.
It
So
makes a serious case for digital collectibles.
yeah, it definitely does.
So
Yeah.
for digital comics, do you collect anything? Do you stack anything? Are you a fan of anything?
Yeah. I stacked all the Star Wars #1s, the commons, and the I think the rares. I think I got like 20 editions of those. I got the first appearance of Iron Man on the drop.
Wow.
So
Oh, I saw that secret rare.
Yeah, I got the secret
Yeah.
rare on the drop.
Amazing.
So that was like my biggest drop that kind of home run that I've ever gotten.
Wow. That's a good one.
Yeah, that was a good one. So I'm not going to sell that one. I've got 4 rare Marvel Marvel Comics #1.
Mm-hmm.
There's only, I forgot how many editions, 1,000 editions of those. I came real close to buying the secret rare a couple weeks ago. It was 2,100, and I almost did it.
Wow,
really?
I almost pulled the trigger on it, but and then I thought, I'm going to give it another day. I'm going to think about it overnight, and then when I woke up the next morning, it was gone. And
Uh-oh, you're frozen. He's frozen. Uh-oh.
Might clear up. Let's wait a sec. Or not. Well, Zombie, if you can hear us, jump out. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, we'll drop him down and then add him back when he's available.
Okay.
So speaking of the Marvel Comics, did you see in the rares, which I love that cover of the rares, right? Where it's all red for the guy walking through the bank vault, right? Mm-hmm. It's a great cover. And there's a number freaking 88, right? For less than 2,000.
Wow.
Number 88.
That's
so
insane.
You're not going to get a chance at anything below 100 and whatever it is, 40 or whatever it is. And for that comic to be that low,
right?
That's a hell of a flex. That might be, in my opinion, better than the secret rare.
And I still think like we're going to come to a time. Cool Mo mentioned earlier about 13,000 editions. We might look back at this time like, remember when they only dropped 80 editions?
Yeah.
You know, like why didn't I go for everything? You know, like the other guy who was saying Zombie, he goes, or no, Digital Toy with Tommy was saying, I go for every drop, you know. I get it. You know, we were there so early. We were just going with everything. And then we've been through, there's so much available now. It's kind of like pick and choose, you know?
Well, it's fund management as well. You know, we've been doing this. I mean, I have from almost the beginning, and you know, I've got key pieces. I've gone through the getting everything, and now I'm pretty strategic in what I put my money into, just because of crypto so juicy right now, where I have to divide my funds up appropriately. You know, what makes sense for me.
Yeah. You don't want to miss that bull run.
Exactly.
We're already late to the game with the timing of things, so we don't want to miss out on that, and then be able to take some of those funds and put it in afterwards, you know?
Exactly, and get the pieces. And I know they're not going to be at the same prices, which I'm okay with, you know, but I think the gains I'll get in crypto will be over the amount of price increase for the collectibles, in my opinion, for right now.
Yeah, I think the crypto market's going to hit first,
right?
And then the NFT, and so I'm probably never going to sell. I say never. The gold moment sets I got, because I'm looking for that Disneyverse to come in that they're going to do with Fortnite and all that. And I think somehow, some way, like if you look when they released that, they showed the video last February. You can see that partner statue right on the screen.
Yeah, I remember that.
And that's got to be, and other things like, you saw some TIE fighters, you saw cars on a track and stuff like that. Iger said that you're going to be able to buy both physical and digital goods. Well, where are all those digital goods going to come from? They've got to come from us.
They gotta come, yeah, because they've got so much available with VeVe.
Yeah. I mean, what are they going to sell that we don't have already? A few things.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's not going to be anything like real big because we've gone through so many.
Yeah.
Like all the Avengers and the comics. Like I'm still waiting for Captain America #1 with Hitler.
Yeah.
Me too. I want that.
They gotta drop that. That's not controversial anymore.
No, these days, no. Go ahead and release that now. Who cares?
Have you seen what they've been releasing on VeVe Comics? Randy was talking about it at last night's show, that there's like nudity, there's heavy violence and gore now. So
I had one I was reading. I had to sell it off because I'm like, man, I don't want this in my collection. Like, it was like full on.
A little too much.
Yeah. What did the Avengers? It wouldn't be Avenger, wouldn't be Marvel, but what did they do? Like go into the Playboy Mansion or something there, Bill?
No, it was the boys one. The boys one I got rid of. That one was kind of graphic, and I'm like, I'm good. I don't know. There's so much stuff I'd rather have, and I'm like, just is what it is. There's a lot of options, but getting back to the what you mentioned with Iger, when I put that post out, I originally saw it from Low Mint Rick or whatever his name is, Low Mint Mick. And then I was like, are you kidding me? They said this, and then I dug deeper into that article. And then I put up a bunch of posts about it. I caught so much flack from all the fudsters about that.
Really?
Oh my gosh. It was like end of the world. You're crazy. There's no connection there. I'm like, how do you not see a connection here? It is beyond obvious at this point.
Right.
Beyond obvious. Yeah.
And I'll tell you why. Those dioramas.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how they got everything set up, and he said there would be parallel universes.
Yeah.
So, what other parallel metaverses are there going to be? I mean, I know you could do some other ones, but VeVe's got to be a part of that.
Okay, so just a thought. You know how people are a little disappointed where the VeVeverse isn't like an open platform where you walk through and go to places, right? Yeah. So, do you think they gave us this to tide us over until that project is fully built out and then we can integrate?
Yeah, because what happened to Cavernous, right? Like, there was pictures where we saw them walking down to the streets. Remember, they were talking about they were building like whole areas, and we never got to see any of that. What happened to that?
There was a Marvelverse that they showed like the year before the Comic-Con that I went to, or maybe it was in San Diego.
That's right. You got to see it, right?
Yeah, there were people that were putting on Quest headsets and looking at it, and they were showing it on the TV.
And what did you see in those?
Oh, I didn't see anything. I wasn't there.
We weren't there for that one.
Okay. I just saw the video.
Yeah.
But, it just showed some people like some avatars and within a Marvel thing. I really didn't see much. I think it was more for the people that were there.
Okay.
It's kind of like a special thing because they were there.
Yeah. Wow.
But, one thing about the VeVeverse, I got to say, like I've got a MacBook Air with an M2 chip in it, and man, it's just slower than the hill. It's not slower than the hills. I turned down some of the performance, but I would like to know what a recommended machine would be, for us to use that would work well in the VeVeverse, maybe on the Mac side and the PC side. I would like to see VeVe maybe release and go, hey, these would be the acceptable, 16 gigs of RAM and a certain video card and so on to go from there, because it's going to be very graphics heavy, and I think they're working on that. It's getting better. They got updated all the time.
Yeah.
But I was actually going to, Bill, because I was a beta tester for the VeVeverse, and I was going to create a tornado of M'Bakus.
Oh man,
it was just too much.
Was it?
I'd move one M'Baku, another one, and then like 2 weeks ago, I heard David talking about this. Somebody built. I know they keep showing this like Greek island. On X, they keep there's
with the pillars and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there was another one where David, you said that it was 3,000 pieces in it, and it took 150 hours to build. And I don't know about you guys, but I haven't got time for that.
No,
so
not at all.
My plan, and here's what you guys may not know: I teach AI in college.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
that's what you teach. Okay.
Yeah, I just started teaching it full time. I've been teaching it. I've taught leadership for a long time, but I have been incorporating AI for about a year and a half, open AI, and kind of preparing, students for that. So
Yeah.
the next thing, and it's already here, it's just kind of still in beta, is AI agents, to where you go in and you tell the agent, hey, like as an example, and this is an example I saw on YouTube. A guy went to the knot.com, which is a wedding site. Okay, I don't know anything about it or whatever, but he made an account, and then he said, okay, I live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I want to have a wedding catered for 100 people, and I want steak, 2 sides, and I want a quote for that. And what the AI agent did is went out and contacted all the caterers that were in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, emailed them automatically for him,
Wow.
got responses from them, and put that in a Google Sheet. In other words, it did his job for him. He just put the prompt in and said, go off and do this. And then he came back a few hours later and he had a Google Sheet of all the quotes. Okay.
Wow.
My idea, and we don't have agents yet, although it's starting to pop out a lot more now, is to create an agent to where it would build space for us, and you would explain to it, okay, this is what I built, or maybe you download, an architecture plan for a building. You say, I want you to build this, and then you come back 8-10 hours later, and it's built for you. So that's my plan. That's my plan.
I would like to see that implemented even in Earth2, where I have like 2,000 like civilians raiding my properties currently, right? But supposedly at some point AI will be a part of it. I want something to build all my properties for me. I don't have time to go through 2,000 different properties and manage those. So you're going to have to streamline it some way. And the same goes for VeVe or Eon Rift or whatever metaverse you're in, Cornucopia, same thing. Yeah. You're going to need AI instead of hiring property managers. Really, there's probably going to be AI property managers.
That's what I would like to do. I'd like to turn that into a side gig. Have somebody come in. Once I get this AI agent set up.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
And teach it how to build. There may be a phase of that as well. And then like have somebody say, okay, I want this space built. Now, listen, AI is so smart. They could even sketch it out on a piece of paper. And I would just take a picture of that and say, this is what I want to build. And then we build it. Then I would see, I'd probably go in and change some of the features of it, textures, things like that. But that's what I'm looking at, that kind of side gig. And I've been thinking about this.
That's a great
idea for about a year and a half now, because I knew these AI agents were coming. And they're starting to show up now. I just need to get them to work with the VeVeverse. And that's the reason why, if I do this, I want to make sure that I have a good spec'd out machine so that it can do it as fast as possible. Yeah. And so I would just meet with
You're going to need a gaming computer for that.
Yeah, probably am.
Yeah. But I was looking at some for Earth2, and it was about $2,000 to be able to run the metaverse on, because they have like a whole Earth.
Are you in Earth2, Kumo? Sorry.
Bill sent me a link for it. I've been so busy all week.
Okay, you haven't clicked on it yet? Okay. Yeah. But that's just go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say that, I've been paying attention to it. I've just been so caught up in VeVe. I haven't really gone into it. And I saw where it went live like 3 months ago, right?
Earth2's been out for about 4 years.
No, I meant where the latest version of it.
Oh, the E2 V1, yes.
Yes.
For beta test,
Yes. For beta testers, it was beautiful, I just sent the link to a lot of Omi homies because I got this island set up that that I'm going to try to set up as like a VeVe Earth2 hangout area, and all the other projects do. But I built a city area that's circular, and then next to it's the village. And then I had this leftover space on the left, so I called it the MCP slums. And so, speaking of which, if anybody wants some free land in Earth2, I got plots there that I'm going to be handing out. So just hit me up on X. And then we're also I got about 50 more plots that'll be available. So we're going to be giving away on the show somehow, some way. So just kind of every time we do a show, we'll give out a plot for free.
But by far, Earth 2, so far, what I've seen in other projects in Earth 2, it's so far above what's put out right now. I think it's really going to blow people's minds once
Yeah.
that thing's live and people can interact and go into it. It's crazy.
So
Yeah, I saw a video they released about 3 months ago, and there was a few people on X that were showing it, and it looked gorgeous, just absolutely dropped it gorgeous.
I've actually been I put this in the chat on Randy's show, but I've been reading Ready Player One. A buddy of mine hit me onto it, and he's like, "You got to read it," you know. And I've been getting into like fictional books lately, and I was shocked at how much IP VeVe has from the book compared to the movie. The book's completely different than the movie, and like even down to the challenges. In the movie, they show Gundam. I think it's Gundam robot drop from the sky to attack Godzilla or whatever. But earlier, there's a Mega Ultraman that fights IOI. That's who like the giant robot initially is, and then later I think it's a different Japanese character too. But
Well,
it
they
was
got the
interesting to see
DeLorean.
that Ultraman was in the book. I had no idea about that. You know, and here you see it right on VeVe. So I look at Earth2 and VeVe. If those can somehow have some kind of partnership, I mean, you're looking at a full blown Oasis, like real time.
You know, speaking of Ultraman,
Mhm.
you know, I still think we're missing a huge piece of the Asian market, which is China.
Yes.
You know, and I know David, what's it been, probably a year and a half, where he was talking about Alibaba, and they had that partnership with Alibaba and stuff. I kind of look at that as maybe that's our entryway in somehow.
Yeah. Where they'll be able to make the purchases through there.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
Are there tariffs on NFTs?
I don't know. That's a good question. Another reason for digital goods.
Yeah. Well, yes. So I was going to post that. Yes. Thanks for saying that, because I thought about it the other day. I'm like 140% tariffs, but you know, this is a digital good. So yeah, you don't need it to be shipped anyways.
Yeah.
Buy it online.
Yeah.
That's great.
Absolutely.
What's up, Crazy Dan? Yo. So go ahead, Zombie. You got some more questions you want to?
Oh, let's see. I don't know. So for Earth 2, let's go back to that a little bit. You know, I think it's missing IP, right? It has no IP. All of its characters are their own creation or through the community. You know,
and they are so detailed and sick. Like
they're above and beyond, especially their videos they create to promote them.
Yeah,
they're stunning. So my question is, like, when do we get IP? When do we and I know it's like, well, this is a clear Earth with nothing, but you have to have some IP in there. You got to have, you know, some familiar things in there for people to get into. And I think that's important. And I don't know if Shane's going to go in that direction or not, but if he does, man, I would love to see VeVe, because I think Shane has talked about other assets being imported into Earth 2 at one time or another. So it would make sense, you know, little partnership.
Yeah, absolutely.
And even with Ready Player One, you know, what they were doing was they were traveling from planets to planets, and there were like thousands of planets in the Oasis. My question is, where's Mars to?
Yeah.
You know, like, when are we ready for the next? Because at some point, you know, AI is probably going to start creating worlds as well. You know, because it'll just start speeding up faster and faster. You know, it can pump out a picture in seconds.
Right.
So at what point does it just pump out whole planets and duplicates?
Right. Did you hear about Ready Player 2?
I heard about I will be reading that book right after this for sure.
Yeah, I guess they're making the movie, or they
really?
Oh, are they?
Yeah. Well,
I did not hear that. Really?
Unless it was like a troll post, you know, I saw a little thing about it.
Interesting. What do we got from? Yeah, Earth 2 has a lot of potential for sure. Yeah, VeVe Earth 2 collab would be sick. Yeah. David just hopes some other brands can import to VeVeVerse. Yeah. So could they be waiting? Do they already have a partnership? How are they both right next to each other, Earth2 and VeVe, on this, not the same island, but right next to each other, and they don't know about each other?
Yeah, in the same space.
There could be a potential partnership. I hope so.
Yeah, I want David to start following Shane.
That would be great.
Speaking of him following, what do you think about following Pokemon? You know?
Yeah, there's something
David,
to that.
He's been teasing, more and more now.
Did you see what I said on Randy's stream last night about that?
I missed the stream.
Yeah, at the very end, I said, if we get Pokemon, think of all these crypto people that are going to convert ETH into OMI to buy Pokemon on Stacker.
Now, do you need to? Are you only able to purchase with OMI on Stacker?
I believe that's what it's going to be. Yeah, is that your understanding, Bill?
Well, yeah, I think ETH and USDC will be implemented as well at some point. I think that's what Brock was doing with the fiches. Was he was practicing for VeVe, sending USDC to make payments to get different aspects of that payment system in place.
Yeah, that was pretty cool how he set up that test, and then he did all those airdrops.
And I know. Did you get involved with that with the fiches?
I've got a bunch of fiche, and I actually bought one. I don't know, 2.5-3 years ago. Through this platform and all that. Yeah, I've got a bunch of them. I got like airdrop the tanks, which are pretty rare, and I've got most of the fish as well.
I love the fish, man. When I saw that little test, I was like, I'm just not into them. And I was already just pumping out so much, for other projects, and I'm like, I'm just not gonna do it. And then of course he releases these logos for the testers, and I was like, oh, those are sweet. Yeah, those are so cool. Digital Toys with Tommy says on base. Yeah, on base. Good point. Thanks for adding that.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah, when OMI on Devi.
Yes.
That's going to be interesting once they build out their exchange. That's going to be pretty cool.
You guys got you're got a good, decent handling on crypto, right? Are you into Devi at all, or?
I've got Bitcoin, I've got some ETH, I've got some Devi, I've got some Definity.
Okay.
I got some Medicaid, kind of the usual subjects for Crypto Rain and Randy and all that. So, they make some pretty compelling arguments. It's whatever you decide to buy into. But I just kind of look at it this way. I think I definitely think Rain knows exactly what he's doing. And because he's been done before and so and I like his attitude as well. So
and they look into the fundamentals. They don't go into projects just with hype. They look at the fundamentals of it, and I appreciate that when I'm making my decision that they've done their research and explain it thoroughly to where now I can look further and make my decision. So
I keep up with. I also watch a lot of Danny the Bull. He hasn't done some streams lately, but he's got some really good. He looks at some lower cap altcoins and things like that. That's the reason I got Medicaid and a few others. Just waiting for that narrative to hit.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't get into Devi.
Sorry, Medicaid. What kind of coin is that?
Gaming coin.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, they're doing a lot of stuff. It's going to be they're actually doing something with layer 3.
Wow.
So I'm not quite sure what it is, but people talking about that could be like possibly something that's kind of new that's coming out. I've never even heard.
They might need a layer 3 at some point, with the more people piling in to make it cheaper.
Yeah, but I've also got 40 million OMI. So
nice. It's a good spot.
I've DC'd in. I am probably at 0.000354.
Wow.
Yeah, nice. I bought a ton since it's really gone low.
Yeah.
They cost me a bunch of money to get 1 million of it. like 2 years.
Right. I did the same thing. Yep.
You know, but
It was
the
like
last
6 grand. Yep.
but
It was
the
like
last
6 grand
39
for the
million
first.
probably,
Oh, yeah, for the first pile.
yeah,
Yep. Yeah, I got a gold logo. Oh, did you digital toys? That's awesome. Yeah,
nice.
I like that logo.
Yeah,
Um,
beautiful.
yeah, I didn't get into Debbie. I got into Definity instead at the
Mm,
time when it was down, and I made the mistake last bull run of buying too many different projects, and so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to pick one at a time, and I'm just going to start piling, and that's generally what I've done. Except
yeah,
with Omi, I've piled over time
yeah,
because I didn't start buying Omi. I started buying the collectibles, and and then later I started buying Omi, but I bought it like a couple $100 here and there, and then as it went down and down and down and down, I just kept adding more and more and
yeah.
more.
Yeah.
But um, I did buy some bump as a kind of Hail Mary freaking throw.
Mm,
uh, when it completely collapsed, I think I put like $1,200 into it, and I got like 3 or 400,000. And
nice.
it's one of those, if it goes to zero, whatever. But
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
if it doesn't go to zero, I'm hoping it'll 10x or something, so then I can put it in, Definity or Devi. Maybe I can enter a Devi at that point.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Try to get into something that hadn't moved, but who knows? We'll see.
Right.
Well, what I see for this bull market to happen is we need some calmness. We need some
Hmm.
things to kind of just run smoothly instead of this 145% tariffs or this and one day
Yep.
and drop in the next. I got to tell you, I've seen a lot of research that on crypto and that M2 money supply, that is just money sitting on the side waiting to come in. And the
Hmm.
other day when Trump said, okay, we're going to pause it for 90 days, and stock market went up $2,900, that just proved to me people are
Yep.
just waiting. There is
They're
money
waiting.
on the sideline. They're
Yep.
just waiting for a path, and then as soon as that path happens, I mean, I feel like the tortoise these past 3 years.
Yeah.
Oh, I've VeVe
Slow and
and
steady.
Omi and all my Bitcoin and all the rest of my
Hmm.
stuff that I haven't been fast about it, just been DCAing. But I
Hmm.
feel like I'm at the finish line now, and I'm
Yeah.
just waiting for all the rest of the group to just come and like, hey, I'm here. I'm just waiting for you all to jump in
Yeah.
on this. That's all.
Well,
Yeah.
They're
We
doing.
need
one
some couple huge announcements too from
Yeah.
Trump.
right.
We need to see some clarity.
Yep.
And then we'll see the corporations piling in too, I think. And once we
Yeah.
see some of that,
Well, green candles promote more green candles, right?
Mhm.
So then that's the attention we need and the shift of focus to, oh, okay, here's, these markets that are going, and then your
Yeah.
friends and family start asking about it. We all know how that leads.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. That narrative. When you start hearing ordinary people talk about that narrative,
Yeah.
Yep.
that's when things are really starting. Like I was sitting outside a classroom waiting to go in, and I heard a couple of professors talking about crypto, and one guy knew what he's talking about, kinda, and the other guy didn't know anything.
Mhm.
And so he goes, "Well, yeah, let me just tell you in 10 minutes." And I'm like, 10 minutes? We're
Right.
going to tell him all about crypto. And I just sit there and listen to him. I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, this is the reason why we have huge spikes and
Mhm.
those God candles. It's
Yeah.
just people jumping into it, chasing those green candles. And if
Yeah.
you think about it, that's what we want.
Right.
Yeah.
I work at the post office, and I just had a friend, conservative, has gold, silver, all of that, and asked me to help him get into crypto and what to do. So he put in around 5K, and I diversified him, and he has one more
Nice.
asset he wants in crypto, and then he's done, and he's just going to let it sit and see what happens. But for him to ask me and go through that process, wire money into crypto.com and all of that, and
Yeah.
and get wallets and everything, like he went through it. It
Yeah.
took about 4 or 5 days to get him going.
Yeah.
And that shows, like, okay, it's coming. It's not here yet, but it's coming.
You're a good friend to do that, Zombie, to get them all diversified
Yeah.
and such as well.
Yeah, well, I don't, I feel a little like responsible when I get somebody into it,
Yeah.
and he didn't like hear me talking to him, and then he finally was in. He was kind of off on the sides and then came in and asked me questions and then wanted to be involved. So, I want to make sure he has a good experience. It's important.
I think I've lost a couple of friends over VeVe and Omi.
Yeah.
So, when things were really hot and came in, I told a lot of people, and I know I've lost some friends over it because, they just kind of listened to me and went too far in.
Right.
And then a couple of them made a couple of $2, and then they just went hog wild without even asking me. But you know how that kind of is. Sometimes it's still your fault type of thing. So
yeah.
So I really don't tell anything to anybody. I just kind of do my own thing. And so if crypto pops and we get into that bull run and stuff, I'll just tell people, one day I just won't be here.
That's how I am too.
That'll just be it, So I just won't be here anymore.
I'll pop in to say, remember when we talked about this? This is what's coming next. Because they need to hear that. And at that point, you're now a believed person, because you're tried and true.
Right.
It took some years, but people start to listen once they know that you called something before it happened.
Yeah. The only people I really kind of advise now is family. I got, my family's got some of this stuff in it and so on, but obviously I'm watching out for everything for them as well, because I know what they got. I know how much they got and so on, but not too many other people. Just don't.
I was telling Mr. Champ, I posted something the other day on X with I don't know if you've heard of it, Cuomo, Eon Rift, and it's a project that I originally found out about through Comics and Crypto, and they had the creators on, and it is the writer for Last Ronin and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh wow!
Tom Waltz. And they're creating their own universe. They're trying to create their own IP basically, and they started releasing comics, just one so far, and they released 5,000 characters that will be involved in their new universe, and they did that about, I want to say, a year and a half ago, and the prices were really good, and then they pumped up for some people, and then recently the prices have collapsed, and a lot of the, just like every other project in the bear market, and a lot of the original holders were freaking out and selling off, and so I started buying up the floors in that.
Yeah.
But I always had the intention that this project wasn't going to pop off till the next bull run, and they released their coin as a meme coin, which was, they created it kind of like VeVe did. They tried to separate it.
Right.
Even though they won't admit to this, I'm just kind of telling you how I see it happen.
Right.
They created it as a separate project that they were also going to control and Eon Rift, and then keep them separate, but then use them together. And I think in their universe at some point. And then they were trying to catch that wave of the meme coin, but first it opens up as a meme coin, and then it turns into a utility token, I think, over time. Well, I personally didn't even expect them to launch the token this run anyways. So when they did, and they gave Eon Rift holders some coins for that, I'm like, great. And a lot of the holders were buying it. And I'm like, you guys, it's going to fall. Whenever a coin launches, it always collapses.
Oh, yeah, it does.
And sure enough, it's straight dove down, and a lot of guys were freaking out. And I'm like, listen, this is a project that's long term. You're transferring your wealth to people that are more patient than you.
Yeah.
And they don't have a problem with that. And then, so anyways, long story short, Mr. Champ ended up buying 3 rifters at the floor. They were only like $15 a piece or something. But I was just like, hey man, get into this project. I think you're going to like it. It's a long-term hold, but you could have a lot of fun along the way. But they also are creating motion comics, and the motion comics are insane.
Where there's motion inside the panels.
Every panel is moving in a different way, in different animation, and it adds a whole nother element to the comic itself.
Wow. You should always have that brought up, because once you mention it, people want to see it.
I brought it up to Ben, Ben messaged me on, or he messaged on something I posted or somebody else posted, and I said, "Hey Ben, I wanted to ask you about something." And I said, "Listen to the video when Cosmo was on our show." And I gave him the timestamp of when we were I was showing the comic.
Yeah.
You get a chance, Gulmo, go back and look at our previous show with Cosmo.
Okay.
And I think it was like an hour in or something like that. And I showed the 1 or 2 pages of the action comic, and it was so good. And I was like, Ben, you should do this with VeVe, but then create a whole new class of and name it motion, like MC motion comic instead of ultra rare, secret rare. You don't have to interfere with the comic itself, and it could be a new class that they burn, maybe set holders burn, and get the motion comic.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just another element. That way you're also not taking away from the original secret rare or anything like that. He liked the idea. He just said, we got a lot going on right now. I love the idea, and left it at that. And I was like, cool. Just thanks for hearing me out.
Yeah.
Thanks for messaging me back. And I appreciate you, because he does have a lot on his plate,
Yeah, that's for sure.
So it's just an idea for the future. But anyways, separate project. But people, the reason why I brought it up is there are so many buying opportunities in every platform. It's not just VeVe, it's every platform right now because we're in a bear market. And when we come out of this bear market,
did you see that CryptoPunk sold for $6 million the other day?
No, I did not. Wow.
4,000 ETH or 400. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was it ETH? I thought CryptoPunks were the ones that were on ETH. I thought those were Cardano.
No, what I'm saying, it was however much ETH it was.
Yeah.
But it was $6 million. But they also said in the post that is sold for $16 million in April 2024.
So somebody took a $10 million loss?
Well, maybe it was, I guess you could do that for tax purposes.
Or some money laundering.
I'll just be very honest with you. I bought Todd in January 2022 for $9,300. Now understood. I took 400 and bought, sold, and got up to that.
Yeah.
I sold it for 384 to take a tax loss this year.
Awesome.
Did you?
Yeah. So in December, you got to keep, you can't go back into it for 31 days.
Yeah.
So I sold it in December for like 384. And so that's definitely going to make my tax bill go down.
Pull up this comment from NFT Gents. That's interesting. It's on what Coolmo just brought up. So he passed earlier. Wow. $4 million difference.
Wow.
That's weird. That's suspicious.
So he took either it was money laundering, he took a major L and wrote it off big time, or he was just desperate to put it in something else. I don't know.
Yeah. Or life got in the way.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys want to do a giveaway? We have a giveaway from a guest, Mr. Champ.
Yeah, Mr. Champ. You want to do Mr. Champ?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see if I can pull it up.
Did you end up? Are we doing like a? Did you end up getting a giveaway generator going?
No, we'll have to just do one in the chat if that's cool.
Okay.
Let's see. Sure. Here we go. Can you guys see that?
What am I looking at? This is new to me. So, I see.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay. So we have the LA Strong Blue Heart from Mr. Champ.
Okay.
Yeah, he's very gracious to give us this for a giveaway. So, I don't know. Do you want to do the first one? Let's see. The first one to like in this channel and say which appliance was famous with Randy Chavez.
Oh, I like that.
That's a good one, Zombie. That's a good
one. But you have to like and then type in the chat.
And can you see that they liked it? Or who liked it?
It's the honor system.
Honor system.
Honor system. Let's get some likes on this channel.
I like that.
All the names on it.
Yeah. So the first one to say what famous appliance for the Randy Chavez show is associated with this show. Put in the chat.
That's great.
Gets this LA Strong Blue Heart.
Yeah, Mr. Champ. He was a good dude. He ended up, I think he was the one that ended up with my giveaway I did for the auction, I think. I think it was a VHS. It was my Jurassic Park VHS tape. I'm pretty sure that was him. He had
was
it on
it?
his stand. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Very cool.
Another good question with Randy's channel would be, what DC collectible was sitting next to the appliance?
Oh, yeah. That is a good question. Yeah. He had, and somebody gave that to him, correct?
I think so, yeah.
It was like somebody shipped it to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
We have nobody.
Nobody's listening.
We have 66 viewers. Somebody
66 viewers. Somebody type something.
Maybe a different question. I don't know.
Was that too hard?
Yeah. So, okay.
You got to be an OG to know that one.
Let's do something we did on this show. Maybe, just maybe they're not followers of Randy or something. Or, I would imagine that they are, though. But and those are Randy early days too.
Those are Randy early days.
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah. So,
of
course, Ed's got it right. Did Ed get it?
Ed got it. He squeaked in there.
There we go.
Oh, sorry.
Ed's an OG. Ed's an OG.
Ed, do you know who Randy is?
All right, Ed.
That's
let's
fun.
see. How does he give us his VeVe login name or whatever?
Is he following you on X? Maybe you could private message you.
Yeah, private message me the VeVe Zombie, Ed, and we'll get that out to you. Congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
Yeah, congrats, Ed.
Yeah, he's a good dude. Always putting out good stuff. Awesome. All right, what do we have? We just had an hour. Do you guys want to cut it, or you guys got any more time? Or
I'm good.
You're good. Okay.
Yeah, nothing else going on.
So I am at. I think I just reached a new plateau of the M'Baku is 185.
Nice.
And I'm working my way up to that specific number.
Yeah.
But I was holding back because I'm like, I can't take that from Cool Mo. He's got to have the top number. But then when we talked before, you're like, no, we both got to get it. And then I'm like, okay. And I've just been waiting for people to post them. But then, so I sweeped up a couple here and there, and I'm trying to work my way up to it.
Yeah, Zombie, we got such a thing on M'Baku. I hit up Billy a couple weeks ago, and I was like, hey, I think it was a 46. I said, hey, there's a 46 of M'Baku on there for $79. And I said, if you don't mind, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And I'll put one of mine for $3 on the market.
Yeah.
And because there's a number I want to stay at. And so, I want Bill to join me on that. And kind of known as the M'Baku Bros. So
I want to see this tornado. We got to get that computer juice. That sounded like such a cool idea.
Yeah, I just kind of gave up on it. It was just it was just so slow. It was just too slow. I was working on an M1 and all that.
I loaded it up on my laptop, which is just a Microsoft laptop. I mean, it's nothing special. It's a Surface Pro or something that's like a couple years old. Mm-hmm. And I was able to place one collectible of the Firebomber patina.
Mm.
And I put him in the living room. I made my way there after it glitched like 50 times getting there. And because it's just running so hard.
Right.
And I placed him in the living room. Like, all right, I'm good. That's my VeVe-verse so far. I went with the already pre-made custom built house and everything.
And see, I got collectibles specifically for the VeVe-verse. Yep. Like I've got all the collectibles to recreate Star Wars: A New Hope. That's when cool. The Jawas come with their tank, that huge thing with all the so I got when they're set up with all the robots out front, they're getting ready to sell to Luke and his dad.
Yeah,
like I've got the Jawas, I got all the robots. I've got basically the whole diorama with everything there. That's one thing I'm planning on doing and I've got a lot of sets like that because I got a lot of cars.
Yeah.
That I want to set up and so on because I think it's kind of funny. Although this is a really nerd statement to say. If people say, "What kind of car you got?" So I'm got, and then I could say, "Oh, I got, I don't know, 4 or 5 Lamborghinis. I think I can't remember.
Yeah.
A couple DeLoreans.
Yeah. I got an Aston Martin. Like the James Bond car. All that.
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
Yeah, we're
right. So speaking of Star Wars, did you guys hear the show a couple of days ago? I forget who was talking about it specifically, but they were mentioning that this May the 4th is going to be a special one for VeVe and Star Wars.
Oh, really? Little side announcement? I didn't see that.
Yeah, they the show that Rhubarb does.
It's that new one that's out right now.
Yeah.
It's like a bunch of characters we don't know,
My
right?
Collectibles with my.
Oh, you're talking about that show. I thought you were talking about Star Wars. Okay.
No, with My Collectibles and old Rhubarb.
I missed that show too. Yeah. They posted it the other day. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was the other day.
Yeah, they were mentioning that this 4th, May the 4th, is going to be a big one. And they're very excited about it to start letting that information out. So I can't wait. I want
to speculate. Can we speculate?
AT-ATs? I don't know.
I'm thinking the Death Star.
Yes, I was just about to say that. Why haven't we got large plots of anything? Why haven't we got Tatooine as a planet?
That's exactly what I was thinking too.
You know what I mean?
Imagine what you could build on Tatooine.
Yeah.
Like Earth 2.
But you could shrink the size if you wanted to make it not the full. You can make it moon size or something. You know what I mean? If you wanted to. Why aren't they releasing stuff like that? It just makes me think there's so much bigger picture.
Yeah.
Everything with VeVe right now feels like they're holding back, right? With everything. And it's scary for investors. I think that's a big reason why people aren't, going ham into VeVe right now is because there's so much holdback and uncertainty with information and directions of stuff. So, and VeVe's smart. VeVe is a very smart company. David and Dan and Ben, they know what they're doing. They're not gonna hurt this company, right? So there's a reason.
How about the pirate ship of freaking Captain Hook? I wanted that, and then we just got this little tiny section of the ship itself that made no sense to me.
Yeah.
We have full cars. We have giant ships from Star Trek. But I got this little tiny placement of a ship.
I can't remember what it looked like.
Right? Doesn't that not make sense? You could easily make a pirate ship.
Well, there's going to be obviously. I would think that there would be more pieces to it.
Right. Yeah. Unless they're planning on. Yeah.
How crazy would it be if we got Lego?
Lego would be dope.
Buy Lego pieces to build stuff.
Lego would be dope.
Maybe a penny a piece for every block, and then other blocks would be worth a little bit more.
Yeah. And it burns Omi. It only burns Omi.
Think of the possibility. Yes, the Omi that would be burnt. My God.
And Lego has that major partnership with Fortnite currently right now, where they built a new Lego world, several worlds really.
There's the ship. I see it. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying with the ship?
A little dinky.
Yeah, it's just the top part.
It's just not even the full top.
And you have to buy the cannons too, don't you?
Yeah. You had to buy the cannons too. And I'm like, dude, just give me the full ship. I want it.
Yeah.
Now, did you guys see on Fortnite they released Adventure Time? Another IP. Yeah, another IP.
That.
Yeah, season one good too.
Little season 1.
Yeah. They did it. They did it really well. It's all kind of flat, illustration style. So it looked good. So another connection there with Fortnite.
And they mentioned they also had one with Godzilla, and we just got Godzilla on one of the comics.
Oh, did we? I missed that.
We did. Yeah. I picked it up. It wasn't. It was a collab with Marvel. It wasn't a full blown Godzilla comic itself. It was a. I think it was one of the Marvels were fighting Godzilla or something.
Oh,
How many
that's
Godzillas
interesting.
you could release on VeVe?
So many. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't know
animated.
how many Godzillas there are.
Yeah.
Animated would be dope.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
It's kind of like Ultraman. There's a shit ton of Ultraman. You know.
Well, that's what he was fighting was kaijus, these giant monsters from
Yeah.
Japan. Ultraman.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
guys see Godzilla -1, the last movie that came out?
I did not.
no.
It's really good. You would think, how can they make a Godzilla movie that you haven't seen before? But they
Right.
did.
And
They
it was that
actually
good with
put
Kong,
a
the one with
story
Kong,
to it. Huh?
the one with Kong.
No, Godzilla -1 is the name of the movie.
Oh, this is the newest one that
The
came out.
newest one.
Okay.
And it's straight up Japanese, so it's English dubbed.
Yeah.
But it's really good. It came out about a year and a half ago. It's probably on Netflix or something now.
I have the
But there is a story to it, and it really is pretty good. It
I'm
really
gonna
is.
check that out because
Yeah.
I have the original Godzilla or Gojira from 1954,
Oh wow.
and I decided I'm gonna start watching some of the older ones and like work my way up.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to kind of get a good feel for it. But I thought it was great. Even they were like, "Hey," and they're like talking like, like
Yeah.
10 mouthfuls for like, "How are you?"
Yeah.
So did you see this
you know.
comment? David said he
what-
couldn't believe the IP would allow it. I wonder what he's
what are we
talking
talking about? Which one?
for Star Wars.
David said he couldn't believe the IP would allow it, but it better be the Millennium Falcon.
It's got but we're expecting the Millennium Falcon. We're expecting
I know.
the Death Star.
Yeah, what aren't we
What
expecting?
aren't we expecting?
The Death Star would be amazing, but I
Yeah.
need a ship, and that's why I said that because I was looking through some of the ships, and I don't like them. Like they're just okay. I need a ship to.
Ships?
What's that?
The Star Wars ships?
Yeah, I want something bigger, like something where you can keep a crew on. Like we got the Starfighter. There was like one that was a shuttle, but like the Star Trek ones, those are big.
Yeah.
Like I want like something that'll carry some people, like the Millennium Falcon or bigger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be cool. It'd be cool to if we get the Millennium Falcon that the inside of it is detailed as well. How crazy would that be? Maybe that would be something that would be like huge from Star Wars.
Start creating you create storylines in there.
Yeah.
On just inside the Millennium Falcon in itself.
Yeah, you sure could. I mean,
yeah, 1-to-1.
We could have streams in there,
Oh.
And yeah, I was a little disappointed we didn't get the first Mando and Grogu. That was a little disappointing for me, but there's so many Star Wars collectibles. Yeah, there is. But I'm not into the pins. Did you get into the Disney Pinnacles at all?
I got the first set, and that's all I've done.
Yeah.
I didn't even look back. I thought I'm going to get the first set.
Yeah.
And
forget it.
Yeah, if anything goes, it'll be the first set. So,
Yeah.
And I haven't put a dime in since.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Although I did get my first pins in the physical form, they should have been VeVe ones, but since I'm such a jack and didn't go to the party, I didn't get my 2 VeVe pins I had that were worth some, actual money now. But I got some London police ones. So those are my first physical pins. I haven't opened them up out of a bag yet.
Oh, nice.
They came with like a sticker set, so I'm just keeping it in there for now.
Mhm.
And then, yeah, that's just another thing I'm not going to get into with. I don't know how far I'm going to go with it, but
yeah.
If I did it, I would think I'd probably collect digitally. But
one of the last streams on my collectibles, I won from the London Police. I won one of their collectibles. It was.
Did you? Which one?
Yeah, I have to look. I think it's Numbers.
Oh wow, yeah. Was it black and white?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's a good one right there. Yeah.
Let's see here. Yeah, Numbers and Letters United. Yeah. So
wasn't the floor on that a couple $100?
Let's see. $229.
Yeah,
I'm not going to sell that. That's this is pretty limited.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Let's see how many. But that was pretty cool that I won that. Yeah,
that was the one I think they did the physical with.
Yeah, I believe it was. Mm-hmm. I just got the digital.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Yeah, definitely keep that.
Really was hoping to get that penny black stamp on the drop and get the secret rare on that.
Are you interested in the actual stamp itself for the physical?
No, I just wanted to make the money.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I have one. I'm looking to.
The physical?
I did land the secret rare.
Did you? Wow.
Wow.
Congrats.
Yeah,
Do you have that?
I do.
Like in your possession?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Hey, you guys want to see it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See it?
I would love to see it.
I want to see what the what it looks like in the container, you know?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. He's holding out on us. I didn't know that.
So, you know, my avatar is my cat.
Yeah.
Luna. So
Okay.
I had a picture done. Yeah. So I'm
That's great.
pretty big Iron Man fan. I was going to show you, know, Cuomo's my avatar build. So.
What's that? Show it.
Oh, I was just going to show you. So I had a picture done of my cat Uno because Iron Man's my favorite Marvel character.
That cat's awesome. I love the colors. Here it is right here.
Oh wow.
Wow.
It's a super simple case. It's got little VeVe on it.
Okay.
But then it was, I don't know if there's a number on there. Pretty vintage, right? And then the back looks kind of cool too.
Is that graded of some sort or no? It's just like a display. It's not graded, is it?
I mean, to their standards, I don't even know. It doesn't say a number on it. It just says used SG2, whatever that means. I'm not really.
So I wonder if you could take that out and get it graded.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
I put it on eBay for $1,200 just for fun. But I mean, if somebody was seriously interested, and I would take whatever for it. I don't care. But
well, if you're gonna get a stamp, the first one's probably the best one to get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. I just put it on my shelf as a display.
Yeah.
You know?
Now, if somebody purchases that, do they get the digital as well?
No, I already sold it off. Unfortunately, I sold it for like $300 or $400. Mm-hmm.
Wow!
I should have sold it when it right off rip for like $1,000.
Does that physical have a mint number attached to it or no?
I think
just curious.
Did. Yeah, 58.
And that was the number, the secret rare you had?
They didn't do it that way. They should have.
Oh, okay. I don't know why they don't do that. You know, match up physicals with the one that you got. The
London police did that.
Right. Smart.
With the digital and the physical. Yep.
Yeah.
Because now people are going to have to hunt for the 58 if they have the physical.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Huh. That's interesting.
But I love the drop. Since you mentioned it, it was very cool how they did that. I'm just not a stamp collector, you know.
Right. Yeah. It's like history, though. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. So when the bull run starts, I'm thinking it's probably going to be Disney that pumps first. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I would agree.
Well,
if we get that announcement, yes.
If we get, I don't know if we get Pokemon before.
That Pokemon, yeah, that's that. Right? Yeah. That takes everything off the table. Right.
So also, do you think that they're waiting to do the Asian market for the Pokemon announcement?
I do. It makes sense
because he's definitely stacking Asian IP right now. He's been doing it for like a year and a half or something.
Yeah.
And we haven't really seen a whole lot. I mean, we've seen a couple things.
No, we need another manga for sure. You know, that Ultraman, I've stacked, you know, the lowest mints that I can get my hands on. Yeah, the comic. You know, that's the first one. It's Ultraman. It's, you know, I think it's history. So I do a little stack on those.
Okay.
For sure.
Nice.
Yeah. But they got to get more IP into that end of it, the manga.
Yeah. And then how do you think, okay, so if they do announce Pokemon, I mean, I'm positive it's confirmed, but confirmed.
Yeah.
But what do you think it'll be? Do you think it'll be the cards because obviously they already have this site where they're doing the cards. Do you think the cards will then become sellable, or do you think it'll just be physical characters?
I'm in both, or I'm in the Pokemon cards digitally right now with my kids. They love it. You know, they do it every single day. They, you know, click and open their 2-packs and they love it. And I think they're going to go through their channels to do that. They'd be silly to share. Doesn't need to share. But I think they'll do statues. You know, I would have loved them to do cards with us, but it looks like they took that upon themselves to do, which makes sense. But
they're not sellable yet.
But that's just a channel they have to open up, you know, because you can already trade them, right? you could trade between people cards. So that's a simple, just
Oh,
plug and play type of deal for
yeah.
that. So,
Okay.
but I think we'll get statues, which are going to be equally huge,
Yeah.
in my opinion,
Okay.
yeah.
What do you think, Colma?
I think the same thing. I don't know if we could. There's possible we could bridge those cards digitally over to VeVe. I just don't know what their ecosystem looks like, and what they've got on their servers and so on to be able to do something like that. But I hadn't even thought about that, but it does make sense that we'd probably get the characters more than we get the cards because of this game they've already got set up.
Yeah. To me, it
Dragon Ball Z too that
Yeah.
could possibly drop.
Oh my gosh! Can you imagine just announcing both of them at the same time or something like? By the way, Friday we're having Pokemon, but Saturday will be Dragon Ball Z, and Sunday will be,
And I don't know if it's going to take IP to change the narrative. I really don't. I don't think it's going to be IP that does it. I think it's going to be, maybe big names, some big sales, something in the news, to change people's perspectives. Because I just think that, it's not in the narrative right now for digital collectibles.
Yeah.
Just isn't. We could have the best. We already do have the best IP.
We need the crypto pump first.
Right. Disposable income, then narrative, then a big partnership like Pokemon. And then
But we also need the announcement from Trump that crypto related companies might not be taxed, or if they are, it's a very small tax of some sort, like maybe 5-10% or something low, to where people are going to be like, well, Disney's an American company. And then they want to fly into it so they can, make, I think they're American. I don't know. Or some of the American companies.
Yeah. Yeah. Trump just, he just signed some bill about crypto today, I believe. So, he's starting to do, what he's promised with crypto. So I think it's going to take time. It's going to take, regulation clarity. It's going to take structure, but it's coming.
Pastor, I'm running out of time.
Well, Paul Atkins just got confirmed as SEC chief. From what Gary Gensler was. And Gensler was the biggest
oh my gosh.
Block for what, all three of us would have a heck of a lot more money if Gensler wasn't in there. Okay. So I think he's going to come in, bring clarity, and also Congress has got to pass some laws, for it to solidify some of this stuff. I personally think that's what VeVe is waiting on. Because if I was Dan or David and I had all this money invested into my company and you have all these users, over 600,000 of us, currently and so on, I'm not taking any chances. I don't give a crap what people are saying, what fudders are saying or whatever. It's your baby. I'm not going to come out with anything if there's a chance that the SEC and Gensler is going to sue. I mean, they did have Omi on the app. And
originally.
So I think that was an Apple thing maybe, and also SEC. But it just appears to me like the gloves are off.
Yeah.
So once that, I think, gets firmed up with some laws passed and we have some laws on the books, I think that's what VeVe's they're just waiting to like flip some switches. Stacker, I think, is a part of it. Stacker keeps teasing out about being able to, and I've seen, Digital Toys with Tommy talked about, and he's absolutely right. Once we can start selling other IP on Stacker like Disney, Marvel, and so on, and people can convert the ETH, I think the narrative starts to happen. Because I remember, I've heard some of these OGs that were more OGs than me talking about when Marvel Comics dropped, when Marvel Comics #1 dropped, and they were there things for $2 or $3.
I was there. I didn't buy enough of them. Yeah.
And what was the high of those? $600?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was there. I only bought 10 or something like that.
Right.
And then I sold them off as they pumped up. It was like they were laying at $3, $4, $5, $6.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, they were $10, $15. And then I started selling it like 15, 25, 30.
Tommy says,
like, yes, and then all of a sudden they hit 600. I'm like, I'm out of comics. Like, why did I sell them so early?
Yeah.
Digital
I think
Toy
we're going to see that again. Wow. Yeah. It just depends on when the narrative comes back. But
Right.
we're all going to have stories to tell. Oh yeah, I bought some of this way back when, and here it went
Oh
up.
yeah.
Like you talked about the Marvel Comics, Bill.
Yeah. Yep. And
Yeah.
I should have bought more. Now I'm at 20.
Hmm.
I should have bought more again, but now I'm kind of like, there's so many other things that I want. So
Yeah.
those 20 aren't for sale.
Yeah.
I'm not planning on selling. There's certain things I will keep. Those are something I will keep,
Mhm.
And another
until
thing,
I can't say no, where it's just
yeah,
so
absolutely.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
an-
real
Another
quick
thing that
question
I
to you,
have.
Pulmo. What item are you
Oh,
not
sorry.
selling and is not for sale? No matter what it goes to.
No matter what it goes to, nothing.
Within reason. I mean, within
Everything's
reason.
got a price.
Probably the VeVe logo, Secret Rare,
Okay.
because the parties are awesome.
Yeah.
Gives me a reason to go to New York.
Yeah.
Nice.
Took me a while. Took me a while for me to like New York. I'm a farm boy from Illinois. I mean,
Okay.
Yeah. I used to.
Understand.
I mean, I have obviously live in Florida and Orlando and all that,
Yeah.
but it took me a while. But now I love New York City. Just love it.
Okay.
So it always gives me a chance to go back. I feel like that's going to be kind of the special group going. And it has been, I think, the past couple of years and going forward. So,
Mm-hmm.
but if that logo went to like, if I could get 32 grand for it, I probably would sell it. I say it's just a
Mm-hmm.
lot of this all depends on how my crypto goes. Because if
Yeah.
my crypto goes nuts, I'm
It
not
doesn't
going to
matter.
sell much at all.
Yeah.
with VeVe and just let my kids have it forever. But there is one thing that I've not heard anybody talk about with VeVe is are we going to be able to sell sets?
Mm.
You
That's a
know,
good
like you
question.
talked about Zombie, you got 46 of those VeVe logos. Do you want to sell those individually? You want to send them as a complete set?
Oh, no, I have number 46 throughout all of the colors.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then
Yeah,
sell them
you
at a
want to
set.
sell that as a set. That's worth more as
Right.
a set than it is individually when you've got something like that.
Yeah, I
That's
would like to see that
something
implemented.
Slacker can do. That seems like pretty simple.
Yeah.
It just has to get, I'm sure, some sort of
Like a group option or
IP.
something.
Yeah,
Maybe they
yeah.
can do a group option where you can group things together.
Yeah.
That'd be
Right.
cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Stacker's busy. They have all these things they want to do, but it seems like they're working on something big, right? With all the IP, I hope.
Yeah.
Hopefully getting that integrated. I think that's the direction they're going.
Zombie, what's the one thing you're not selling?
One thing I am not selling. God, I have so many collectibles. Not to like whatever, but I
Right.
have so many freaking collectibles, and so many of them mean something to me.
Right.
Like, I don't even update my profile like I should because I just buy key items and then I don't put them up there. My Secret Rare Spider-Man right now is something it would have to go up pretty high to sell, I think.
And you already saw it at 90, right? Wasn't it 90?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
then like you'd have to really see another number
Yeah.
that's substantial to that even to really blow
Yeah.
your mind, right?
Well, right now I have a deal with another collector where we've swapped, but since we can't physically swap it right now, that we're just verbally we've swapped our mints. So I have the number 46 right now for Secret Rare Spider-Man, and
Nice. What?
Wow.
yeah, that
Wow.
one I think is going to be just a grail beyond grails.
Yeah.
It has so many, many key points to that collectible that I value, and I think other collectors will value as well. So if like Cuomo said, if crypto goes off, I probably won't touch that thing. I think that thing's staying in the vault.
Because what's the point? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Well, it's kind of like having a key like art piece where you have enough money where you don't need to sell it. You can enjoy it and flex it, and you never have to think about selling it.
That's
Yeah,
why
I bought a Secret Rare Spider-Man about a month and a half ago, but my edition's $693.
Yeah.
Nice though. I mean,
Yeah.
any Secret Rare Spider-Man
Yeah.
is going to be key. Bill?
I think Miles is, or I think Wes is hinting at he's not selling his Miles. Maybe. Mine is going to be that number 13 Flower Bomber.
Wow.
I that patina, I don't think I'm going to let that go at all for any reason, because I already know my crypto holdings are going to go really nice.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make sure of that. I'll just keep buying more until it does. So, but that's one I don't think I'll let go. Now, if somebody threw, I don't know, 150,000 at me, maybe, it's just hard to say, but I don't know if I'm going to let it go for under 100K. I don't know. It's just, I don't need to.
That offer might come. That offer really might come
Okay.
to you. So
Yeah.
be prepared. If we're seeing CryptoPunks selling back in the 2
Yeah,
million
for
range,
millions. Yeah, you just never know.
Yeah.
When they're able to send crypto in, like ETH or some other crypto that they just made a ton of money on, who knows what things could go to. And then, it's for sale.
Well, I remember thinking when all these things were popping off and Secret Spider-Man got to 90 to 100,000, I was thinking, no, that's low, because look at the other market. Look at OpenSea, look at what these NFTs are going for, and I didn't sell then. I did sell on the way down, a Secret Spider-Man, but I really held true to that value where it should have been higher. And I think in this next bull run, we're going to see prices go well beyond that, in my opinion.
Also, have you thought about this, Zombie, that I know there's some secret rare Spider-Man that some of these bots had that were shut down,
locked up.
I want to know what, are they just going to keep those locked up forever? Are they going to burn them? What are they going to do? But that's going to make, in my opinion, that's the reason why I bought it a month and a half ago, is that, there's not, I don't know how many are locked up in bot accounts, but man, that's when the bots were going nuts.
I'm willing to bet at least 30%.
Well, Spider-Man's too, that whole series is, a lot of question marks around that. I don't know if we want to get into that, but there are a lot of questions about the numbers and where some of those are, and are they available or not available? That's big. It's big questions, right? Especially when you're talking about serious money invested in these items,
And then another question I have is when Woody, right? Woody Woodpecker in here.
Yeah, Woody Woodpecker.
I'm ready.
Who has the what IP owns?
Wouldn't it be is it Looney Tunes? I don't even know. No,
I don't think it's.
I don't know.
I don't know whose IP that is.
I feel like it's the same IP that had like Popeye and things like that.
What's up, NFT gents? Selling sets would be my last sale on VeVe. It's going to cost. Oh yeah.
God, can you imagine putting your entire collection on VeVe?
Yeah, why not? And people and you set up a showroom, or you set up a display in the VeVeverse where people can walk through and look.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! You should have that now. You should have a link where you click on, if you have something for sale, and then you get put into the VeVeverse, and you can walk around and see them. And it has have a little display sign or whatever you want to do, a floating image of the price.
Or a Death Star. Let's just fill up a Death Star. Just sell it clean, right? Like with everything on it.
Yeah.
Just another planet. The Death Star is a killer idea. You could fill so much crap in that.
We already have a planet, don't we? From Little Prince, right?
Oh, like a moon?
Yeah, there's or some. He's on something. Maybe it's a moon. Maybe it's, I don't know, a little tiny planet. But
that's a good point.
He's running around that thing.
FA planet.
And if they sold planets, think how many planets you got.
Right.
Tatooine, Naboo, what's the big one with this all industrialized?
Just Star Wars in itself, just so many. So many. And why are they not there? And I'm reading Ready Player One. And it's like, we went from this planet to this planet to this planet to this planet. And there were thousands of planets. And there's no way when they were creating this thing, they didn't think of that.
Yeah.
I mean, how would you miss that?
Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. So,
and maybe Earth 2 is just one of the planets.
Could be.
Oh, that'd be incredible.
Biff's Tower. That would. That's pretty good. You could have
Abyss.
that. You could have that scene up top with the DeLorean.
Yeah,
And you could have Doc up there, all that with the
that is a
flag
good
hanging
one.
down off the DeLorean.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
That is
that'd be a
good.
great scene.
So not Pokemon, but besides Pokemon, what IP would you guys like to see in the VeVeverse
Go ahead.
that we don't currently have?
That's a good question. That's a real good question.
I'll go
Definitely Godzilla,
Okay.
but Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, right?
Oh, that's a good one. Yep.
Yeah.
See,
And David
yeah.
kind of hinted at that a little bit. I mean, it was just a tweet or whatever you want to call it, an X post,
Mhm.
and he put the turtles with the symbols and stuff.
Mhm.
But I think he was replying to somebody. But still, I was like, TNT.
For me, I think we already got it. It would be Disney.
Mhm.
All the Disney IP that we have and stuff.
There's so much of it.
Yeah.
So anything we don't have currently with a Disney that you'd like to see?
See, the thing about it is, I wasn't a collector growing up.
Mhm.
I really didn't collect anything. I was always outside, swimming in a pond or the Mississippi River or fishing, or
Yeah.
I just never really collected it. My brother had comic books. God, if I had still, my mom burned them all. But he had some stuff from way back when, and
That's amazing.
talks about that. So that's kind of a difficult question for me, because I think we already got an awesome thing, going for VeVe, and that kind of brings up another question, because I remember, I came in November 2021, and people were already screaming for the VeVeverse. Well, how many collectibles do we truly have to be able to populate the VeVeverse? Because now that we're 4 years in, we've got, I haven't seen the latest numbers, but I know we're probably double digit millions now.
Easy. Yeah.
I mean, we have to have a tremendous amount of collectibles in order to have, people to have different spaces with different things in there. Because if we had just, 500-600 collectibles, everybody's space would kind of look the same. But now that we have so much incredible IP, all these spaces can be different. I think, I don't know, what they were thinking about early, but they had to be thinking about, Disney and VeVe coming together, go, well, we got a lot of stuff to release. And that's the reason why I've got my fingers crossed. And even if this doesn't happen, I'm not too worried about it. But I still think there's a possibility for a Marvel Mighty game. And the reason I say that
100%. Yeah.
is there was an actual board game. Do you guys remember Rob Stuff?
Yep.
Rob Stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
He did a video he used to sell this board game called the Marvel Mighties.
Oh, really?
And it was a Kickstarter campaign.
Okay.
And they actually had physical, it was a physical game, and you could buy these and paint, and if you go back and look at that video, there's so many of those Mighties we have now that when he did it, we didn't have them now.
Because I've seen the physical, little stuffed Marvel Mighties that they have too. But that's interesting. They had a game board with it.
But
was that licensed, or was that just him going rogue?
It was a Kickstarter campaign. It obviously had to be licensed.
It had to be. Yeah.
Some of these board games were actually sold. But you had to group your Mighties together, and you fought a villain. And that's the reason why, if you look at the Mighties, the villains are usually the ones that are worth the most money. They're usually the scarcest. Now that didn't quite apply for Spider-Man Noir and things like that, but it did apply for Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of a semi-villain, you know what I'm saying? But if you take a look at some of those beginning Marvel Mighty sets,
Green Goblin,
Red Skull, you had Doctor Doom.
Yep.
And those were the ones that were secret rares.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like you take a villain, and then you've got these Mighties that come around, and then they drop a Thanos in a helicopter, and I'm like, well, okay, I know it was in a comic, but why didn't you just drop Thanos?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Why? Right. And then they had the even the Deadpool van.
Yeah. The
Chimichanga. Yeah, but at least we have Deadpool separate too. Thanos, we don't. He's stuck.
Dude, I love that Thanos drop they did with the freaking this.
Oh, the
I will
warrior.
never forget that. That was such a memorable moment for me.
Yeah,
I
got
did
all
the
those.
craft, and that Thanos, that's one that actually isn't for sale ever.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like the one that I was able to, the secret rare you got out of it. You
That's
know?
the warrior, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Just because it was such a cool thing.
And a different thing, like if you go into OpenSea, you can see how many people have owned a certain NFT, where you can't do that on VeVe.
Yeah.
Like I've bought a lot of things on drop because I thought, okay, I want to be the only owner, because maybe in the future, whenever I put this for sale, they'll be like, oh, this is only one owner.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It'd be worth more money than somebody that's owned it, like a Todd. Like, you know, when I sold my original Todd, I don't know how many people owned it beforehand, but I bought another Todd 2 months after I let that one go, just because of the tax purposes.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, this may have been owned by 250 people before I bought it. You just don't know.
Well, look at
stats, but they may in the
that's
future.
the point.
Right. Look at classic cars. The first question, how many owners? Oh, it's a one owner. That's important. That demands a higher price tag. So it would make sense, especially if it's tracked and trackable and open for everybody to see. Like, wow, you're the second owner of that? Nobody else has had it besides one other person?
Yeah.
I do think that's gonna hold some weight eventually. You know, we're just early. We're so early.
Yeah. We
so
are.
early. It's insane.
Hey guys, I think I gotta jump off.
Okay.
Yeah, I got some stuff I gotta do too, guys.
Yeah.
So,
but great stream. It was good hanging with you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Nice to meet you, Kumo.
Yeah.
And we definitely got to do this again for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you guys on some other streams. I'll yell at you in the chat.
All right.
M'Baku.
Yeah, M'Baku forever, baby.
Peace.
So, guys, I appreciate it. We'll see you online.
All right. Later.
Thanks, bro.
Good one.
See you.
All right,
bye. All right. Bye.